I want to talk simply from the subject, next. Sometimes people won't like you on the level of where you are currently because your face is set to go someplace else in your destiny. And just because other people don't want to go with you or they can't see where you are going, they won't support and receive you on the level where you currently are. I'm going to the next thing. If you don't like what I've got, I'll go to the next place. The old folks used to say down here in the South, if you don't like my peaches, don't shake my tree. Because I'm just here to tell you that there is somebody in the next village down there that's going to love your peaches. The people with you right now may not appreciate your peaches, but there's somebody in the next village that's going to love your peaches. They're waiting to make some nice peach pie or some peach cobbler. And the folks that's with you, because they've had you all along, they've taken you for granted. It's amazing how people who are with you currently commit the sin of familiarity, where familiarity breeds contempt, and they don't even recognize you for who you are. And you can go to other places and they celebrate you and they're excited to meet you and to have you and to know you and to have your ministry and your gift being exercised. And then the folks that know you too well, they know your mama, where you came from and all of this, and then you're with them, and because they're too familiar with you, they don't know how to celebrate and relish in the gift that God has locked into your life. But there's another village in my life, so what's holding you from going to your next village? Because there are some wonderful people there in the next village that are just waiting to meet you. You will be surprised. You haven't met your best yet. Have you ever wondered why birds stay in the same place generally, and they can fly any place in the world that they want to fly? Now you have to ask yourself that same question. You can fly where you want to, and then you'll be surprised at people that just hang around the same places, viewing the same sights. Because I just want you to think of yourself like being at the world's largest airport right here in Atlanta. You go and you get on the train to go out to the concourse. I can't tell you the number of times that I've gone down the escalator to get on the train, and as soon as I was about to get off the escalator, I'm watching the train doors close. Do you think that causes the bishop to break a sweat? No. You know why? Because I know that there's another train coming in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And I want to tell some people, because some people are almost about to knock me down on the escalator trying to rush to get on the train. There's another one coming in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, there's another one coming. So I watch the doors close, and then I'm just saying next. Because there's another train coming. Listen, it's already on the track. It's already on the track. I don't see it coming, but I know that in another couple of minutes, there's another train that's coming. You got to be able to be confident in yourself, and when somebody starts failing to appreciate who you are, you got to be willing to say, deuces, there's another train coming in 2 minutes. Deuces, see ya, deuces, come on. Because there'll be somebody else that will appreciate all of your fineness. And I just want you to realize that to have no more dreams is to rob life of its meaning. Even while you're serving and working in one dimension, you ought to be dreaming on the next one, because to have no more dreams is to rob life of its meaning. If something failed you in your past, it's time for you to dream another dream. It's time to dream your next dream. Somebody shout next. You see, here's what the devil wants you. The devil wants you to be stuck in the best that you have done, not the best that you can do. He wants you to get so caught up in the history of what you did back then that you don't focus on the potential of what you can do up yonder. So there's something else that's for you. You got to be able to go on to your next. And I want to encourage you, don't allow a man or a woman to hold you captive to an illusion of the past. Let me say that again. Don't allow a man, don't allow a woman to hold you to an illusion of the past. Because who you see in your imagination will always rule your world. So don't stay where you're merely tolerated. You go to a place where you're celebrated, where somebody be glad to see you coming. If you don't have a person that can do that, buy your dog and be glad to wag the tail when you come home. Get something that celebrates your coming in, just to see you. You ought to have somebody who's glad to see you coming. Let me just say to you, why live with the fear that if I don't go back to what I had, I'll never be happy? Why live with that fear that if I don't go back to what I had, I won't be happy? May I say something to you? Don't be led by your fears. Be driven by your dreams. Be driven by your dreams. And may I say to you that you've already started dying when your memories become greater than your dreams. When your memories become greater than your dreams. So you ought to always keep a dream in your heart. I don't care how old you are. Always keep a dream in your heart. You ought to die with a dream in your heart, because you're still alive as long as you can still dream. You know, there are too many people trying to find the right person instead of being the right person in the right place with the right people. That's where your focus needs to be. You got to focus on being the right person in the right place with the right people. And at some point, you've got to make a resolve that you're not going to allow the people that rejected you or the people that walked out of your life to destroy or to manipulate your inner peace. It's enough to be manipulated and controlled by somebody who is a figment of your imagination of what it could be from your past. It's time to get off of the roller coaster. The tribal wisdom of the Dakota Indians, they passed from one generation down to the next, this saying that when you discover that you are riding a dead horse, the best strategy is to dismount. Listen, when the horse is dead, dismount. When the horse is dead, dismount. Now, of course, I know we try other strategies. Some people are on a dead horse and they try to whip harder. But the horse is still dead. There are other people, you know, that offer sugar to the horse. I've now seen them eating their sugar cubes, and they'll just go. And you hear you trying, oh, baby, you know, we love it, kind of music. Trying to be sweet. You're on a dead horse. Trying to offer sugar cubes on a dead horse. There's some people that change riders. What good does it do to change a rider and the horse is still dead? Then there's some people, you know, that intellectual, the analytical kind, they appoint a committee to study the dead horse. But at the end of the day, the horse will still be left dead. And why would anybody hold on to a dead horse? I see people who are still on dead horses, and it's not going anywhere, and they're still on a dead horse. There are many reasons. It's because we believed in the horse. So we're still there because we believed in the horse, and we hoped for the horse, and we loved the horse. You know, that's my boo. We loved the horse. And then we doubted or we denied that the horse could ever die. And then we relished the hero's role of resurrecting the dead horse. And then we believed that dismounting means giving up or doubting that there will ever be another live horse again. You'd be surprised as to why some people stay on a dead horse, when actually discerning the dead horse takes uncommon wisdom, and it rarely happens without an intentional process in place. See, this discernment begins with noticing, not denying, a lack of forward movement. Once you realize this thing is not moving forward, it's time to dismount. Dismount. Other people have to absolutely crash in order to have a wake-up call and realize I was riding that dead horse. And you know, when you finally get off the dead horse, you end up kicking yourself that you didn't get off sooner. But the discernment continues as we continue, despite trying harder or smarter or being more aggressive, because we still realize that we remain in the same place. And we finally acknowledge that the same place is not our desired destination. And you'll find that spiritually, the temptation to keep riding a dead horse comes from misplaced faith. Spiritually, the temptation to keep riding a dead horse comes from misplaced faith. And so it's because we oftentimes think that our horse is sacred and that we are in ultimate control. And this horse that I'm talking about, this horse may be a relationship that you're just believing that this is going to be the one. It may be a relationship, but it's a dead horse. It may be a job, and it's a dead horse. There are times that you've got to have enough belief in yourself. You've got to have enough faith, enough courage, enough audacity to leave the thing that no longer ministers to your passion and launch out and do something differently. Even if this is the only thing that you've known all of the days of your life, you're on a dead horse. When the horse is dead, dismount. When one door of one train closes, there's another one that's coming down the road, but you got to be prepared to ride the next one. And it takes a little different skill on riding the next horse that's coming down the road. When he causes you to dismount the dead one, when the new pony that you're getting ready to ride, it takes some different skill in riding a young one than it does riding the old thing that has died. And so it may be a relationship, it may be a job, it may be a dream. Could be a dream. It could be an ideal. But when the horse is dead, you have to dismount. And we just somehow think that if we stay on and ride it out with our own blinders blocking out any other vision, just got on blinders, thinking that this is going to be it. But listen, may I tell you something? You'll be on a dead horse and you'll be praying for God to resurrect the horse. But may I say this to you? Prayer is never used to change the will of God. Prayer is used to facilitate God's will, to usher God's will into the earth. And sometimes you'll be waiting, asking God to resurrect a dead horse, a dead relationship, a dead job, a dead dream, a dead ideal that is not God's will for your life, and you're wasting your time because prayer does not ever change God's will. Prayer is used to facilitate the will of God into the earth. And so sometimes only by dismounting and letting go of our dead horse can we begin a new trek. It can sometimes be the hardest thing that you will ever do, but other times it is the smartest thing that you will ever do. And it's interesting in life how oftentimes the hardest thing that you will ever do will end up being the smartest thing that you will ever do. I love what Sonia Ricotti said. She said, surrender to what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And it takes courage to do that. It takes faith to do that. You've got to channel your energy into what you love, for this will be the catalyst for growth and for development and prosperity in your life. It's channeling your energy into what you love. That's what passion is. May I say to you that champions don't allow what died to stop them from continuing to live. Just because your horse died doesn't mean you have to die with it. And I want to say to you that out of your greatest failure can be birthed your greatest wisdom. Out of your greatest failure can be birthed your greatest wisdom. Moving on doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean forgetting. It means that you choose happiness and the pursuit of destiny over hurt. That's all that it means. It doesn't mean forgetting. It means that you choose happiness and the pursuit of destiny over hurt. That's all that it means. So why waste your time fretting over a customer that wasn't ready to buy what you were ready to sell? Salesmanship doesn't begin anyway until the customer says no. And sometimes you just simply have to move on to another customer who's ready to buy. You got to just find the people who are ready to buy. Again, like I said, if you don't like my peaches, don't shake my tree. But somebody's going to come by who loves peaches. Don't base your business on for the people that's allergic to peaches. Because somebody will love your peaches. You were born for the people who will love your peaches, not the people who are allergic to it. Not the folks that's going to criticize you. Somebody is going to love your peaches and your rib tips. Whatever it is that you sell, I don't care what it is. Somebody is going to love it. Find that audience of somebody that's going to love whatever it is that you've got to offer. It's going to be a blessing to somebody. They're going to be glad that they met you and that you were in business. And when it comes to those who break baseball records, they don't count the strikeouts, they count the hits. I mean, we know I was there at the stadium, at the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, the night that Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record. It was freezing cold that night, but I was there in the stadium to see Hank Aaron break the record. And listen, they didn't count his strikeouts. He struck out over 3,000 times. They counted his hits. And so go out and get great hits in your future. When you've got something that you know that works, don't change the formula, change the audience. So if one village doesn't like it, you move on to another one. Touch your neighbor, say next.
Ooh, wee! Oh my goodness, y'all caught a little bit of that. The power call was about to start, y'all. That's from the old platform. But first off, let me say, winners never quit, but a quitter never wins. Once again, you guys already know it is truly on. Today is going to be a special day. We want to welcome you all to the Midday with Tay and Toia show. What's going on, sis? How you doing this afternoon?
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. You're looking marvelous over there as always. How's your day going?
Pretty good. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Woo! That pre-call was everything, Tay.
Yes.
Very inspiring.
Yes.
Very motivational. I mean, woo! He said a lot. He said, "Dismount that dead horse." Spoke volume.
Exactly. You know what? That's what I was loving. Hey, I was gonna come on and say, are you looking for somebody to love your peaches? You know what we did? We teach people in Well Builders Worldwide that you want the people that want your peaches. You're not looking for somebody that doesn't want your peaches. So yes, we want to welcome you all. We want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon on the Midday with Tay and Toia show. As you guys already heard this morning, what you just heard prior to us speaking, you heard the power call, the pre-call from this morning's power call. Shout out to my sister Sherry Brown, my brother Willie Brown, the Real Browns. They were the moderators for this morning. Man, shout out to the entire team. But we have a special guest today, family, as well. And I'm super duper excited because when I was a young pup in the business, I was looking up to this brother. He was putting his arm around his brother and telling me everything is going to be cool. This brother's been, he's been in the business for a lot longer than myself. He has an amazing story as well. So before we actually get off into the pre-call, what I like to do is I want to introduce you all. I want to introduce the family, the Midday with Tay and Toia family. If you don't know this powerful brother, I'm going to let him introduce himself. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome to the floor my brother, Mr. Daniel Higgins. How you doing this afternoon, man?
Ow. It is so good to be with you guys. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. Thank you for the invitation. I am so excited to be with you guys today. That pre-call, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sherry Brown pulled out the archive for a reason, boy. Oh my gosh, I remember when that was played, and I'm just like, there's so much good information inside of that pre-call. I only wrote about five key points, but I'm telling you, there's so much more in there when you listen to it. It is amazing. We get so much great information. It will jack you up. It will keep you up late at night. And the wheels will just be spinning, man. So once again, thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Toia. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be with you guys. I really am. I'm ecstatic. Oh.
Well, I'm excited. I'm gonna let Toia start off because, like I said, I mean, you guys, you gotta understand. Like I said, I mean, I've been excited and pumped like this from day one. And when I got into business, you know, I tell the story. I signed, actually next month will be 4 years. In Care definitely.
Right,
no doubt. Thank you
very
much.
Talking about.
So yeah, so when I got in, I mean, some of you guys know my story. I didn't have any money. I didn't know a whole lot about the business. So I was only connected with a few people in the business. So, you know, it's June. I signed up in June, July, August, September, you know, almost like 2.5 months later, they had the Let's Go weekend. I believe it was Let's Go weekend 3, if I'm not mistaken. So I didn't even really know a lot about it, wasn't really plugged in. But when I saw pictures, and I was only friends with only a handful of people in Wealth Builders, but when I saw the pictures, the camaraderie, just, I mean, let me be honest. I mean, I saw a whole bunch of black people. I never saw nothing like that before. You know, I worked corporate America most of my life. It's normally the opposite. So I couldn't wait to get to the next Let's Go weekend. So, I mean, a person like myself, hearing the power calls, when I went to that first Let's Go weekend, like I said, you may not even remember, brother, but I remember it like it was yesterday. It was yourself, Brother Glenn Perkins, I forgot the brother, the tall brother that married Sister Matrice. I forgot.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
You guys were like, when I'm walking, you guys were like the first people that I met, and I was just so excited. But brother, I mean, from day one, I mean, you got the coolest spirit, man. I mean, you're really cool, dude. But you guys always, so I mean, whenever I'm around you guys, I'm still like a young guy, because it's like, you know, like a new guy, because you guys were the best. And just like with the culture, you guys know, we take each other under each other's wings, and we help, and you know, so I mean, I appreciate you, and I want to say publicly, brother, thank you for you're I don't want to say a quiet giant, you know what I'm saying? You're not as verbose as maybe a lot of us may be. But brother, one thing I know is that I know that you've been working from day one, and I know you're steady working, and you are a light. So thank you for joining us, family. Toya, I don't know if you want to ask the first question, or if you got anything you want to state, brother, before we get up to these questions. But I'm just pumped. I'm gonna sit back and chill.
I tell you, that pre-call, the information on there was so full. One of the points that I wrote down was find your audience. Find your audience. That's one thing that I know a lot of people might have a challenge with, because they stick with the people in their surroundings. They want to stay in their comfortable zone. But once you shift a little bit, get a little uncomfortable, and find your audience, things shift, things change. And man, oh my gosh, that's just one point. I got a whole lot of points. I'll let you ask your question, Toya. You look like you got something good to say right there.
Well, no. What was your take on the pre-call? I want to hear it.
Oh, man. So that's one thing. Now, one huge thing he talked about with the dead horse, he talked about dead relationships, right? And then he put a key point in there. He said, it's not moving. There's no forward motion. So I just wrote that down. I'm like, man, because my personality type is, man, let's do this all together. You know what I mean? And I had to break that out of myself, especially because I got like that John Maxwell kind of complex going on. So he talks about, John C. Maxwell talks about it a lot. Said, man, I have this thing where I'm trying to put everybody in the boat. Here we're going over here, but these people not pedaling. These people not doing anything. They're not really wanting to be on the boat. So you got to leave those people alone. So that hurts my heart sometimes, because my personality type is let's all go together. But you got to just break out of that, and you got to realize the dead relationships, and then just move forward. You come back to them every once in a while, drip on them every few months. But you ain't going to focus on them for long periods of time. And then being driven by your dreams. Man, that was such a great point. I'm telling you guys, there's so many good points in here. Now, Dante, you're going to like this, right? He said, don't change the formula. He said, change the audience. Now, I got something for you, Dante. I know you love music, man. Think about this, man. Think about this. Think about Jay-Z, right? Think about the Blueprint.
Yes. Classic.
Think about that. Think about that album. All he did was follow a successful blueprint and put it out and slayed it, right?
Yeah.
So we got that in the map. We have that in the map. So we just want to stick and stay. It gets greater later, but also too, don't change the map. Get right to that map and just try and just squeeze the life out of that map. You see what I mean? And I know you guys are feeling me, right? So I had that for you. I had that especially for you, Dante.
Hey, I love it because, you know, like you said, brother, I mean, you know about music background as well, but like you said, don't change the formula. Like you said, what did he say? Change the audience. You know, when you know you have something that works, I mean, like I said, that was powerful. Like, and I'll use I can use myself and let's say maybe my music career in parallel and contrast. When I got in this business, of course, I work corporate America and I have friends all over. But the majority, a lot of my friends in my circle of influence, spirit influence people, they're musicians, they're rappers, they're singers, they're street people. You know what I'm saying? Which is nothing wrong with that. But like you were stating as well, when you find a formula of when you're able to, not saying get on a good path, you don't want to necessarily, as you stated, you don't want to necessarily try to switch it up for the audience. You don't want to change the formula. If anything, you just change your audience or let your audience come around to the message, brother. Because like you said, that blueprint straight classic, and he used formula.
For real. I mean, it's straight fire. That's straight fire right there, man. And then I know how you guys roll here, so I'm just gonna hit this point real quick.
Hey, go ahead.
Dead horse. The dollar is a dead horse. That 401k, dead horse. Both of those things are dead. Now the 401k is documented dead, not by us, by 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes said the 401k is dead. When they walked people through that, and that 60-minute program that's available on YouTube for anybody to watch, documents the failure of the 401k over and over and over and over and over again. And man, don't. All right.
Go in, bro. Go in.
Right? So you got that, right? You know, we all been reading Fake by Robert Kiyosaki. I just did a live stream earlier this morning / last night and just talked about currency versus the money. What's money? What's currency? People don't even know the difference. It's very important to know the difference, especially if you're working for it for 40 hours, 60 hours, or whatever, 70 hours a week, and you don't even know what real money is. So we put people in position to get real money because those dollars are dead. They are dead. And now one huge point, I'm going to end on this point when it comes to the pre-call, is prayer never is used to change God's will. We are literally in position to save God's money. I pause for dramatic effect.
I pause because I don't know what to say.
Drop the mic. Well, thank you for those key points, Mr. Higgins. I understand that your sponsor is Mr. Delco.
Yes,
how is that experience, and how long have you been in the business?
So I joined in August 2015, a little bit later, like real late in August 2015, right? Now here's the cool thing, right? So I've actually known Mr. Delco for several years prior to Carrot Bars, right? So I had the amazing honor, and it really was my honor, to serve with him in our praise and worship team, and just learn from him. Like Dante said, he's the young pup coming into Carrot Bars. Well, I was one of the young guys coming in to praise and worship. And man, I was super nervous. Of course, I was actually the youngest vocalist, youngest male vocalist on that team. So it's been a great journey. So I actually know him from that experience, and I know Mo from that experience. So I worked actually with Mo a little bit more aggressively at the beginning because she was actually my like choir mama, you know, so she kind of was one of the people who kind of helped all the new people. So that's how I started my relationship with Mo. I call her Mo. I should be saying Monisha, Miss Delco, right? But that's my family right there. So I knew both of them actually separately before they even got married.
That's crazy. So before they got married. Wow.
Before they got back together. So it's been a joy. So what happened is this is my story and I'm sticking to it, right? So he posted something on Facebook, man. So I show up to the meeting. Right? And I come to find out that it was Roger Williams' meeting, right? But he was posting on Facebook. I show up, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, Daniel?" I'm like, "What's up?" He said, "Who invited you?" I said, "You did." And he was like, so the rest is history, man. I jumped in. I got my VIP package immediately. I have not missed passive income since August 2015 because I jumped in, got my VIP business package immediately, got my Wi-Fi package, and used some of my commission to upgrade my business. So all of that is all good stuff.
Oh, that's great. That's a great story. I see that you like dance and singing, huh?
Yes. I got a history. I got a history of singing and
Oh, okay.
ministering in all that different place.
I had to get you on the track. No doubt.
And I also see you enjoy inline skating. Can you talk about that a little bit? What exactly is inline skating?
Man, that's rollerblading. What, you don't know about rollerblading? What? What's going on?
Hey,
now,
I did.
I know not everybody is supposed to skating. Talk to me.
Hey,
you didn't just put rollerblading, roller skating, and you put the inline. I'm sorry. I'm.
Hey, we from the hood, brother Daniel.
Hey, no,
you got to say rollerblading.
I'm from Queens, New York. I don't know how I end up rollerblading. I don't know.
Because you know what, brother, you're an eclectic brother.
Yeah, bro.
You're a spiritual brother. You're a smart brother. And that's something that I think that initially drew me towards you from afar. Like, I'll be honest with you, brother. I know we don't do a lot of communicating, but I am a fan from afar because I love your spirit, brother. Every time that I've met you, and that's why I say, everybody's nice and everybody wonderful. We all have a lot of good things to say about people. But sometimes you can just feel a person's spirit and their genuine personality, brother. Like you definitely have that. So I know I do, and a lot of people we feed off that, and I hope you know that as well, brother. Let me and maybe I should say this, and maybe I'm speaking for a lot more people, but I know you do your live streams from time to time, and I know you do. I would like to personally maybe even see you more out here because brother, you have you kind of have that thing. I don't know what it is, and without being, hey, everybody, look at me. Some people may look at me, they might be like, yeah, he's like, hey, look at me. But, you're real self-assuming, brother. But powerful. So like I said, I'm super excited.
I appreciate that, man, and I've taken that to heart. Actually, several people have told me that, like, hey, what's going on? So I make a point to, on purpose, add value whenever I do a live stream, whenever I try and get on here, and I always want to have some kind of quality content to share because I'm not here to just flap gums. I want to love in action when I'm doing these live events or when I'm doing these live streams. I say the same thing face to face to people because I've done live events. So when I get in people's face and I say the same things, so I got no fear about talking on a live stream because I do it to you face to face. I start telling people you can't do more research than a country. And now we're in over 140 countries, almost 150. So I told people straight to their face, hey, listen, it's not time to be doing research. We got to research over 140 times by people who are very well versed in how to actually do all of that investigation stuff. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I like that. I don't know if I've even heard it stated that way. When it comes to people doing their due diligence, we've already been investigated by 140 plus countries.
Yep.
Exactly. And we are not under what Mr. Tabet said. We are not
on trial.
Under, say that again.
Not on trial.
We are not on trial.
Not on trial.
I want to give a quick shout out to a few. I'm looking at the chat room and I see Sister Sherby Walker. She stated, I lost over $50,000 in my 401k. And that's, and let me say this, I'm definitely sorry to hear that. I know you're not the only one. There's been so many people. That doesn't make it any better. Definitely sorry to hear anything like that. And that's almost a segue into what I wanted to get off into, because I know he talked about Bishop Dale Bronner. That was Bishop Dale Bronner, for you guys that don't know, who was speaking earlier on the pre-call. He's talking about dead horse, and I know a lot of us we take relationship from it. But what I wanted us to stamp home and drive home, and I know, brother, you're definitely a great person to do this as well. Exactly, I want to drive home exactly what Sister just stated when he talked about dismounting. If you understand now, if you didn't know before carrot bars and things of that nature about gold beer money, 401ks and things of that nature, if you didn't understand that, that's totally understandable. But for now, or for at least going forward in the future, for everyone that is one benefacted, and two, if you have a little more working knowledge than you had before, you understand 401k and you understand the debt note, and you understand gold, dismount that dead horse. I understand if you're working, you need to work. I'm not saying just get rid of your 401k completely. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not a financial advisor. I will tell you what my brother Daniel Higgins, and he recorded one of the most famous videos ever recorded. It's not emotional, it's math. Yes, for everybody that saw that, this brother recorded that. I mean, you should understand that if you understand it, okay, what's going on with the debt notes and 401k and whether it's the stimulus, I mean, just everything that's going on, you should want to, and you should try to save as much of your savings as possible in gold, because there is no risk. I understand with investments, we all want to make money and things of that nature, but I'm gonna give this over to you, brother. But when it comes to understanding, a lot of us, we get our knowledge, we get some knowledge, but we don't change. And that's what we have to do. We have to, when we get the knowledge, we understand that we're riding a dead horse, regardless of whether it's a relationship, job, finances. We have to know when to put it out to pasture.
Yeah. So I'll jump in right there, man. So one huge thing from Robert Kiyosaki's book, his newest book is called Fake. So anybody who's hearing this, please get that book. You can purchase it on Amazon, or you can listen to it for free on YouTube. However you got to do it, you need that information. So what I'm going to say is this. One of the things he talks about is fake teachers. Right now, you are surrounded by real teachers. Me personally, I closed my IRAs. I closed it. I moved it to physical gold. That's what I chose to do, because as I learned several years ago, as I learned what real money is and how it holds its value, which is physical gold, and then as a default, I learned what all these fake systems are doing, because you don't have full control of those things. That's another big thing that Robert Kiyosaki talks about, that you don't even have control of that 401k. Not against it completely. I'm just letting you know there's certain factors. If you're trying to build massive wealth with an instrument that you can't control, you may want to reconsider that and close it, or move some of it to physical gold, where you would have every control in the world. With our physical gold, we could take it and cash it out if we felt like doing that. Now, the three people on this panel, we're not doing that because we understand that it's going to keep going up in purchasing power. So just learning this over time, you might not get all of this in one sitting. That's why I love listening to Robert Kiyosaki, because he walked you through and he uses the principle of KISS, keep it super simple. So he keeps it super simple. He'll walk you through it, and then you'll understand why we're here trying to share with you that there's a better way. So me personally, I closed that account and I haven't looked back since. And then also too, Edith had a similar experience to the person who just spoke and said that they lost a lot of money. She lost a lot of money in hers and was able to, close it out and move it to physical gold, where she has more control. Now, here's another big thing. In his book, Robert Kiyosaki talks about fake assets, and he talks about fake money. 401k is one of the fake assets. It's a simple definition. Assets put money in your pocket. So if you think about what's going on with your budget or at your job, that money is going out. It's just going out. It's going out. It's not coming in. So it's a liability. And I know a lot of people will argue that, just like how they argued all the stuff that Robert Kiyosaki said before, years ago, when he said, your house is not an asset. People argue that, but now it's almost common knowledge. We still got some people still to help. It's almost common knowledge, but people will fight against, my 401k, man, that's my retirement. That's an asset. No, it's not. It's not putting money in your pocket. So back to you.
That's
valuable information. Thank you for that, Mr. Higgins.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is what happens when you're soaking in information that's good quality information year after year after year. I'm on the power call as often as possible. If not, I'm listening to the replay. I'm studying as I'm driving back and forth or throughout my day-to-day. I'm listening to a book or I'm listening to something that's going to improve what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help more people. So you got to be connected to this great information. And our team makes it so simple where you could just listen to 15 minutes every day and start that slow transition. Because it's a transition to move from the employee mindset over to a business owner or an investor. It's not the same. We have to get different information so we have different results. We got to get off the dead horse. You got to. So back to you guys.
Oh, that's real. My bad, Toya. I'm about to say, you go ahead. I'm about to say, yo, that's. I'm sitting over here shaking my head like, no, seriously. I mean, because brother, I mean, I'm glad that you stated your own personal accounting situation, because we don't want to try to tell or convince anyone what they should do with their money. But what we want to do is educate you so you can make a wise decision. That's all. Because as brother just stated, we are in the business of helping people, regardless of what you may think. We want you to make a wise decision, and as we know, it's not emotional. I mean, it is math. Shout out to really quick. I see you, Sister Trina Purdue James, on the stream. Brother Christopher Chowbay, Sister Sonia Ford Anthony. What's going on, sister? Brother Garen McLean. What's good, family? Let's see who all is on here. Give us quick shout outs real quick. Ruthie P. Pike is on here. I said Christopher Chowbay. Sister Pamela Dixon. What's going on, sister? And everybody else. And we have some special guests actually in the studio audience with us. Shout out to Sister Gail and Brother Royal. Team Royal straight out of Compton. They'll be on the Midday with Tay and Toia show on Friday. So make sure you tune in as well. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's on as well. Yeah, Brother Daniel. So let me ask you this. If you could pick one thing that you like most about, and I know it's hard to pick one thing that you like most about Care Bars International, what would that be?
Oh my gosh.
I know, loaded question. So hard. You know what?
What? You got me sweating now, Dante. All right, man. So, all right, I'm gonna go this way. This is just my personality type, so I'm gonna go with empowering relationships. I mean, I'm just a kid from Queens, man, and now literally we have empowering, positive relationships around the world. Like I could reach out to someone in Canada, I could reach out to someone in the Bahamas, I could reach out to somebody in the UK, I could reach out to somebody in London, I could reach out to people literally, and I actually know them and we have some type of relationship. So that to me is just an empowering feeling. So I'll go with that. You're making me choose one. That ain't fair. That ain't fair, Dante, man. That ain't fair. It ain't fair.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, what I'm gonna do, what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna go over to my sister. You already know where I'm going, sis. It's once again, it's that time. It's time for one of those cold quotes from Toia. So Toia, you got another cold quote for us today. We do cold quotes each and every day. Toia come with the serious cold quote. So what you got for us?
Oh, cut it out, Dante. STM, save a lot of you make me laugh. Save a lot of wait a minute. STM, save a lot of gold, tell a lot of people, make a lot of money. Also, Mr. Higgins, I got one more quick question for you, dear.
Yes, please go for it.
What are some of your dreams and goals, if you can sum that up for us real quick?
Great
Ooh.
question.
All right. So one huge thing. Unfortunately, my dad did pass from cancer, and I have in my mind several things that I want to do to just not just honor him, but have a positive impact on the community that he loved. So I'll just leave it at that. It's extremely big, and I actually, when I start talking about it, I really can't because I just start crying. So, but yeah, to honor my dad, there's some key things that I'm gonna be doing to honor him.
Okay,
So that's one of my biggest things. That's one of my biggest dreams. The cars, the houses, stuff like that. That's not really a dream. Those are goals.
Okay. Great.
So I hope that answers your question.
Wow.
Yeah, it does. Thank you for that.
Wow, brother, I don't know how you feeling over there, sis. I got goosebumps. We and I say it every show. Every guest is special. Brother, I don't know. Maybe it's just the connection that we had, and just like I said, the whole nine, brother. It's like, they say, I don't say great minds think alike, because this isn't even great minds. I don't even say it like that. Just whether the Christian upbringing, brother, you just have a wonderful spirit, brother. And I do. I love you. I love your personality, brother. And I know that God has some amazing things in store for you, because you're not.
As do you, man.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you,
as
brother.
do you, man.
When you said the cars and stuff, those are just goals. Those aren't, what you want is something bigger than yourself. And that's the beauty of Karatbars. The beauty of you, and the beauty of people that think like that, feel like that. But the beauty of Karatbars, because Karatbars is truly a vehicle. We always state, you may not want to be, your goal may not have been the top networker in the world, but no matter what your dreams and aspirations were and are, Karatbars is truly a vehicle that will help you achieve that. And brother, I'm praying that all of your dreams and wishes that you want to do for your father, make God be pleased with his soul. You're able to do all that and some. Definitely.
Thank you, man. And I'm super proud of you, Dante, man. Super proud of you, brother. So keep doing what you're doing. Your team is growing and just a massive wealth, bro. And that's what we're here for, to support everybody's goals and dreams. So I'm truly honored. Thank you so much for having me, Toia. Woo! I'll be waiting for them cold quotes too. I was like, what you got for us today?
That's right.
So thank you so much for having me, man.
Thank you for coming to our platform. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
It'll be definitely around too.
Absolutely. As long as there's a mic that isn't burnt up.
But you can't be on it then, fam. All right, well, look, hey, any last words, as we always say, before we close out with peace, we definitely want to give you the floor, brother, for any last words, closing comments, anything you have on your heart.
Man, this is a great platform, guys. Once again, thank you for having me. And guys, just, man, don't surrender. Don't give up. There's an amazing book that encourages you and says, hey, listen, persistence is all powerful. So as you continue to persist, you'll grow, you'll develop into the person that you need to be to hold on to that massive dream that you have in your heart. Don't throw that dream away. Pick it up, dust it off the shelf, pick that dream back up. All right, that's all I got to say. Pick it back up. And we have a tool that we're using to help people reach their goals. It's not about the goal. The goal is a tool. It's not about Karatbars. Karatbars is a tool. We're using these tools to connect us to our goals and dreams. That's all I got to say. I'm going to leave it at that.
Brother, were you in the ministry? Were you in the ministry at church? Keep it 100.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I was at a very young age. I was preaching, teaching, singing, rapping. Not a lot of people know about that one. Had my own little group going on. It was like the first group in our church. So I really broke some barriers with that, because of course that wasn't normal. It wasn't as accepted as it was now. And But yeah, absolutely.
I feel the anointing, brother. And the reason I say, I mean, I was saying, raised in the church. I was in the gospel group. I had my own gospel group. My mother's a gospel singer. I was in youth ministry. That's what I said. There's a lot of parallels, and I don't even think I knew until today. I knew there was some whatever. That's why I believe with kindred spirits, brother. That's amazing. But yeah, that's why I said that. I feel the ministry. I thought the organ was about to grade 5 in a minute. But yeah, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you for joining us today. Before we leave here, ladies and gentlemen, we want all of you guys to tune in with us every day, Monday through Friday. We've had a couple challenges, and let me say that the corporate events always take precedence. So if there's something going on with corporate, then we won't be on. But make sure you subscribe, follow me. What's going on, Jason Pompey? I see you, family. Craig JP, what's going on, family? Thank you all for joining.
Hey, Jason's from Queens. Jason's from Queens. Jason's from my block, from my hood, man.
For real?
Oh, wow.
Jason Pompey. Hey, we got Queensbridge in the building, y'all. No doubt, man. Hey, thank you, brother. That's right. Jason said real, recognize real. That's right, brother. Hey, we got to get you on here too, fam. I'm have to reach out to you. Thank you, brother Daniel. It's definitely been a pleasure. Like I said, you guys follow us, share this out when we go live. We're doing this every day. And let me also say this. If you are a wealth builder, if you're on the power card, you're plugged in with us, reach out to myself. Inbox myself, inbox Toya. This platform is for you. We want to each and every day, Monday through Friday, we want to have a different wealth builder on. We're going to talk about the pre-call slightly, but we're just going to kick it and have a conversation. And wherever God leads us, that's where we're going to go. So inbox myself, inbox Toya, if you would like to be on the Midday with Tay and Toya show. We definitely would like to see you and hear from you. And we would like to let everybody else hear your perspective, hear your journey, and just, get to know you as well. So thank you all for joining us. Brother Daniel, hey, man, I got the goosebumps, bro. I'll be honest with you. I got the goosebumps. Hey, man, I love you, brother. Toya, last words, closing comments from you, sis.
No, y'all done already dropped the mic.
This is good. Well, brother Daniel, how we end each and every show at the count of 3, we like to come in peace and we like to leave you in peace. So as we say on the Midday with Tay and Toya's show, 1, 2, 3, peace.
Peace.
See you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
Inshallah. Brother Demi Sanya will be on tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in. We got Team Royal on Friday. Make sure you tune in. We are out. Holla at you, Toya. Holla at you, brother Daniel. We are out. Peace.
Peace.